Mindful Life Practice community.
You are going to use possibly a pillow at the end of the second half of the class, the Yin class. So it can be nice to have one nearby. And let's bring our body into a child's pose. So knees on the mat. Forehead on the earth. Follow your inhale all the way from beginning to end. Inhale to exhale. And all of the spaces in between. And as you take these deep, full inhales and exhales, see if you can arrive in the present moment. Making a transition from choosing yoga to receiving yoga. And today, when I'm doing a little bit of planning for this class, I was thinking about all of the obstacles that come up along the way on the path of yoga. We get tired, we get bored, we don't feel like it, we don't have time. A lot of obstacles come up in our yin practice as well. Discomfort, boredom, struggles. Part of our challenge in this practice is learning how to meet and greet these challenges. How do you greet these obstacles in your life on the path? Maybe creating an intention for yourself around this theme. Like, I am resilient. I keep going even when things get hard. I won't shy away from these challenges that show up. And when you're ready to go, we're going to start some gentle movement with our breath. So inhaling, coming all the way up into your table. And then exhaling, coming all the way back into your child's pose. Inhaling up into your table. And then exhaling back into your child's pose. Taking one more. And this time when you come up to your tabletop stay, and we're gonna move through some twists. So keep your right palm where it is. Inhale your left arm up towards the sky. And then exhale, send it under, but we're not gonna land. We're gonna take 3 more. Breath in, lifting up. Breath out, twisting down. 2 more, inhale. One more inhale. And then on your exhale, thread the left arm under, land onto your left cheek, land onto your left shoulder, and then maybe take your right arm up around, hook it near around your hip. So in yogic mythology, there is a figure who represents obstacles. He represents not only the obstacles themselves, but our journey to overcome those obstacles. His name is Ganesha. Slowly unwind. Coming all the way back up into a table. And then twisting the opposite way. So over the years, I've kind of hesitated using yogic mythology in my classes. And I think the reason why is because I'm afraid of it coming into like almost seeming religious. And I'm also afraid to be like quoting things that I don't know or giving the wrong facts. Take one more breath in, and then this time land in your twist. But today I was thinking about it and remembering how much these stories and these figures inspired me on my yoga teacher trainings. I remember on my first yoga teacher training, we were introduced to Ganesha and we were introduced to a mantra, which I rarely chant anymore. It was Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And it is basically a mantra asking that obstacles be removed off of our path, that we move through these challenges that we're faced with. And I remember it being very inspiring to me. And I don't know why I kind of let this stuff go. Slowly come all the way back up into a table. Spread through your fingers, spread through your palms. And you're gonna tuck your toes under and lift your hips up and back and come into your first down dog. So anyway, I'm making an effort to integrate these stories and these themes when I can to the best of my ability. Because I think if they've inspired thousands of years of students of yoga, then they're worth retelling, yeah? So Ganesha and obstacles. What obstacles are you facing right now in your practice? Is it that you don't feel like it? Is your practice plateauing? Are you tired? You're probably tired. It's day 29 of the 30-day challenge or day 59 of the 60-day. What's going on for you? On a breath in, we're going to ripple the body forward into a plank. And then on a breath out, come all the way back to a down dog. Taking 3 more breath in. And then breath out. 2 more. And then one more, come all the way forward. And then this time you're gonna land your knees onto the mat. Slowly lower all the way down so your navel lands on the mat. And then walk your fingertips off the mat. Elbows are pointing upwards. And let's move with the rhythm of our breath. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Breathing up. And then exhaling lower. 2 more, inhale. Exhale, lower. 1 more. Take your palms underneath your shoulders. Lift up to a table. And then come all the way up and back to a downward facing dog. And we're gonna bend through both knees, gaze forward, and then just walk your feet up to meet your hands. Find yourself in a forward fold. Take an inhale, halfway lift. Take an exhale, fold. And then inhale, circle the palms all the way up. And then draw your palms into your heart center, thumbs connecting to your chest. So we'll move through 2 little simple standing flows. Inhaling, arms up towards the sky. Exhaling into a fold. Inhale to halfway lift. And then exhale, lower back down. And let's just leave the right foot where it is and step the left foot all the way long back on the mat. Land onto your left knee. If you need to cushion that knee with a blanket or pillow or whatever, go ahead. And then move with your breath, inhaling, lifting all the way up. And then exhaling, hinging forward. If you're wondering where the story of Ganesha is coming in, I have to wait until we're in the yin poses because I can't focus and tell the story while we're moving. So I'll wait until we drop into stillness. Let's take one more, circling up. And then this time, keep your torso upright and just sweep your arms back. Interlace your palms behind the base of your spine, push your palms together, lift your heart, gently tuck your chin, so you're getting into a bit of a back bend. And then lift your arms up towards the sky. You are going to reach your arms forward at shoulder height. Leave your left fingertips reaching forward. Pull your right arm back like you're pulling back a bow and arrow, and then extend your right arm back behind you. Start to reach forward. Land your left palm on the inside of your right foot, and then reach the right fingertips back, and maybe they stay on the sacrum. Maybe you grip into the left foot, kind of kicking the heel back, getting a bit of a quad stretch. Hold here for 3 deep breaths. Inhaling, filling up the lungs and the torso. And then exhaling, releasing. 2 more breaths. You got this. 1 more. And then unwind, land your right palm. Walk your fingertips back, lengthen over your right leg, and then let's take 3 deep rounds of breath. Inhaling, hinge, and then exhale, come forward. 2 more. And then 1 more. Walk your fingertips all the way forward, plant your palms, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, step your right foot back to meet your left, finding a strong plank, and then move through a vinyasa flow. And then we will all meet up together in down dog. Bend through the knees, gaze forward. Step the feet up to meet the hands, taking an inhale, halfway lift. An exhale, fold. And then an inhale, circling the palms all the way up to stand, and then drawing the energy inward, palms at heart center. Find and feel your Tadasana, your mountain pose. And then prepare for this flow on the opposite side. Inhale, arms up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, lower. Leave your left foot where it is. Step your right foot all the way back. Land onto your right knee. Inhale, arms up towards the sky. And then we will move with our breath, hinging the arms forward. Inhaling them all the way up. And then exhaling, hinging them forward. 2 more rounds, breath in. Breath out. And then 1 more inhale. And then this time you're gonna exhale, sweep your arms back, interlace the palms, push the palms together as you lift your heart, finding a little bit of a back bend. I'll tell you an obstacle I'm facing right now. I just feel so relaxed after that roll and release that I'm even finding it hard to like find my words. Yin will be easier, yin will be easier. Reach your arms forward now. This is just a different entry point to get into your twist. So you're gonna pull your left arm back like you're pulling back a bow and arrow, and then find this twist long in the spine first, and then reach your hand forward on the inside of the left foot, and left arm is sweeping upwards. And then maybe you land the left palm on the sacrum, and maybe you kick the heel towards the bottom. Take 3 breaths wherever you are, knowing that there's no hierarchy in poses. So don't judge your experience. That was an obstacle I faced on the path. I judged myself every moment of my practice. See if you can let that go. You're here to feel, not to accomplish. Release your left foot back down, sorry, left hand and right foot. Walk your fingertips back. Slowly inhaling and then exhaling, hinging forward. Walk your fingertips back. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Step your left foot back to meet your right, finding yourself in your plank. You can have knees lowered, it's okay. Slowly come all the way down. Inhaling up into your back bend. Exhaling, fold. And then come all the way up to a downward facing dog. All right, so I have 1 more standing vinyasa flow before our yin. So take your right leg up towards the sky, 3-legged dog. Draw your right knee in. You're gonna step your right foot between your palms and land onto your left heel. So you're coming all the way up into what's called a warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. I'm gonna tell you guys something interesting I learned about the warrior poses today. a yoga teacher training manual, and I learned that these warrior poses are numbered. That's what I always thought. I always thought this was number 1, that was number 2, that's number 3. No. They are numbered based on the amount of limbs that we have extended. So in the traditional warrior 1, you actually do it with your hands pressing together overhead. And I've kind of gotten rid of this over the years because I find that it just adds more tension in your shoulders than releases it. I don't know if you feel that, but it's just like, for me, it's drawing my shoulders together. So in Ashtanga yoga, they will do it with their hands together, but most of us in vinyasa have modified and our hands are apart. So anyway, that's warrior 1. And then warrior 2 is named warrior 2 because you have your hands out in either direction. And then warrior 3 was warrior 3 because you have 1, 2, 3 up. Anyway, that's a fun fact. I don't know what the point of telling you guys that was, but I thought it was cool. Take your arms open. And now I'm going to give you an opportunity to choose your favorite arm variation. So you could go into the eagle arms. You could go into hands together. It's going to be your favorite arm variation for warrior 3. So shifting your weight onto your right foot, choosing your arm variation, lengthening through your left leg, and know that if your arm variation is holding onto a table for balance, then that's all good. Pressing down through the right foot, left hip level with the right. Settle your gaze and know that it's okay to fall. Step your left foot all the way back. Lengthen through your right leg. Let's inhale, reach our palms up. And then exhale, take it forward, come into what's called a pyramid pose. Make sure you have a micro bend in your right knee, okay? It doesn't need to be perfectly straight. This is a nice deep stretch for the back of the right leg. Bend through the right knee. Come all the way back up to stand. And then we'll just stay for an inhale. And then on an exhale, make your way back to a downward dog. And if that involves a vinyasa, go ahead. And if that involves just stepping back to down dog, that is cool too. And then we will move through the opposite side. So left leg extends up towards the sky, 3-legged dog. Draw your left knee in, step your left foot between your palms. Land onto the right heel. Come all the way up into your warrior 1. Virabhadrasana 1. Maybe hands high five together if you want to go into that Ashtanga variation. You know, in Ashtanga, they also teach you to keep all of your fingers zipped together, like spatula hands. And I've always had like my fingers super wide. My Ashtanga teacher didn't like that. But I really think that there's no right or wrong way to do any pose. It's just ultimately what feels good for you. So choose your arm variation. Maybe weaving into eagle, maybe hands at heart center, maybe hands flying, and maybe you try something different than the other side. Oops. And you tilt back into this standing, balancing pose. And then come all the way back up to stand. Extend through your left leg. Right foot is on the 45-degree angle. You can inhale, extend through your arms. And then reach forward. And then dangle your arms alongside your left leg. Getting a nice deep stretch for the back of the left calf and hamstring. Now let's take one more breath. And then bend through the left knee. Inhale all the way back up. One more moment in warrior one. And then if you want to take a vinyasa flow, go ahead, stepping your foot back, coming into a plank. One last vinyasa. And then let's do a back bend before we sort of drop into our yin. So I'm going to give you 3 options of back bends, and you're going to choose what's best for you, okay? So the first one is a bridge. Your feet are on the mat, hands are on the mat, and then you're going to press through the hands and the feet to lift your hips up, okay? So that's option 1. That's a great place to be. Option 2 is to come into your camel. That's what I feel like doing today. And if you want to take your full wheel, I'm not going to demo or teach through it, but if you want to go into your wheel, go ahead. And if you're coming with me for the middle option, which is camel, you're going to place your palms on your sacrum, fingertips coming up. And then slowly start hinging your heart backwards. And maybe you can land the right hand and then the left on the ankle. Another nice thing to have is your block in between your feet. You can place your hands on the block. Keep your chin tucked. It's called Jalandhara Bandha, actually. You will see many yogis throwing their heads back in this pose. I was taught on my 300-hour yoga teacher training not to do that because your head is super heavy and your neck isn't designed to support it in that way. Of course, if you want to do it, if it's your style of yoga, I'm not going to tell you not to. Just after I was taught that way by my teacher, I realized, you know, he had a point and my neck felt better with Jalandhara Bandha. So Jalandhara Bandha, it's a real thing. It's the lock of your chin to your chest. All right, support yourself with hands on your sacrum, and then bring your spine all the way up to realign. And then from wherever you are, just let your spine come back into neutral. Maybe placing the hands on the thighs if you're seated, or if you're on your back, just stay on your back. Take some deep breaths in through the body. And so we're going to start to transition into our first of our yin poses. So the first pose that we're going to take is going to be caterpillar pose, and that's a forward fold. So it might be nice to have more than one pillow. There's my cat there. Yeah, she's asleep on that one. Can't take that pillow. So what you're going to do is sit on the mat and then place maybe a pillow or 2 on top of your legs. And then start to hinge your body forward. Kind of finding your variation of the pose. And so this is the point in the practice where we transition from movement into stillness. We transition from our yang to our yin. And so in yin, we'll be holding the poses for like 3 to 5 minutes. We'll be tapping into the parasympathetic nervous system. We'll be stretching the ligaments and the tissues. So the goal here is to find your personal edge. To stay a while and to commit to stillness. So tension and compression. They're both sensations in the yin practice. Right? Tension is when our body can stretch no further due to tightness in the ligaments, the joints, the muscles. Or the tendons. And compression. It's when the body can stretch no further. Skin hitting skin, or bone hitting bones, the body hitting a prop or the floor. Compression might be an obstacle on the path. Tension might be seen as a way. Where are you feeling the most tension in this pose? Feeling the spine, feeling the back body, posterior chain. Five more rounds of breath. Come all the way up. Just slide the props to the side. You can take a moment to move. We are going to skip the rebounds in this class. Not because I don't think rebounds are important, but because we only have 30 minutes, so it's a little bit shorter than usual. So when you're ready, we're gonna come into our next shape, which is swan pose or pigeon. So first, before we go into the full pigeon, I just want to show you a variation you can do on your back since I'm already here. If you have knee pain, you can cross your right ankle on your left thigh and just stay like this, palms gripping the left thigh or the left shin. Okay, so this is option one. And then option two, if you're like me and have a bit more space in your hips and you want something a little bit deeper, you're gonna come into what's called pigeon in yang, sleeping swan in yin. So you'll lay your right shin across the width of the mat. You'll wiggle your left knee back until you have space. If you want to put a pillow underneath your bottom, go ahead. And then you can walk your body forward to rest on a pillow. Now we are going to be here for 4 minutes. And maybe observing in this shape. What is stopping you here? Do you feel compression in your frontal hip points? Do you feel an intense sensation in the outer hips? Tension, it can be worked around over time. The body gains a greater range of motion. And compression, it can't be changed. But we might be able to move around this block by adjusting our body. Okay, so what's the story of Ganesha? It's actually a kind of scary story when I did some research. So Ganesha was born to Parvati and Shiva, which are two other deities from Hindu mythology. And so Shiva was in the forest meditating one day, and Parvati was bathing. And she asked her son Ganesha to protect her by guarding the entrance to the chamber. And when Shiva returned to see his wife, he got really, really angry that his toddler was blocking off entry to the palace. This part is really scary, I apologize. So he removed the boy's head, and Parvati was so sad that Shiva had to make it right. So Shiva sent his brother to the forest to find an animal to offer their head to the child. And the brother returned with the head of an elephant, and then the elephant-headed child was reborn. So Ganesha is an elephant. Head of an elephant, body of a child. And Ganesha, he's the roadblock. He protects his mother, but he's also the path that we have to go around to enter the castle. Take one more round of breath in this swan or this pigeon. And then slowly coming all the way up. And then when you are ready, coming into the opposite side. So your left shin is going to come across the width of the mat. And if you're on your back, you can just go onto your back on the opposite side. Slowly making your way down. And then maybe noticing what's happening on this side. What is stopping you? Where is the most tension? By examining the tension and compression, we start to learn which obstacles we can work through, which ones we might have to go around. So I love this figure of Ganesha. I always imagined an actual elephant kind of stomping across, just stomping over anything in his path. And I remember when I first became a yoga teacher, I would visualize this. When I was struggling, I would imagine this elephant kind of stomping across the path in front of me. Every time we encounter these challenges, it's a test of our commitment. It's a test of our perseverance. Our willingness to show up for ourselves. And challenges can be like a gift, right? It's a nudge to find a newer way around, way through to your goal. One of the biggest challenges I faced this year was right at the start of coronavirus, when we were all of a sudden put on lockdown. And I had to make decisions about what I thought was right. Teaching yoga in person or social distancing. I had to make decisions about whether to go out on my own or stay with the gym I was working for. And these challenges are hard. It was upsetting for me at the time. But if we work with these challenges instead of against them, it can be our greatest gift. How did this lockdown challenge you? What ways were you put out your comfort zone? And what did you learn from facing those challenges? What challenges are you still facing, and what can you learn from them? We're almost done here, I promise. Just 5 more breaths. You guys got lucky. We stayed in these poses longer than I planned. So I think we're gonna move just into a little bit of gentle movement and then a shavasana. So slowly start to peel your way all the way up out of that shape. And then you're gonna lie your body down onto your back. Let's just kind of rinse all of this out with a twist because we haven't really twisted yet today. So take your right knee into your chest, lengthen your left leg long. And then we're just gonna draw your right knee across the mat. Open your right arm like a flag. If this is too much for your back, you can also stack your knees. Just gaze in the opposite direction. And slowly unwind, lengthening your right leg long. Taking your left knee in towards the chest. And then drawing your left knee across, coming into a twist on the opposite side. I've thought a lot this week too about the methods and ways that I face my challenges. Coming all the way back up through center, giving yourself a nice little hug. And then set yourself up for a final resting pose or a shavasana. Or if you want to come into a seated meditation with me, go ahead. So I've been facing a challenge during this quarantine, the falling out with people that I thought had my back. And pretty much my approach to it has been all love and light. I do loving kindness meditations every week. I try to offer forgiveness. I give as much love and light as I can. And this week, I kind of had a wake up call to it. That loving kindness is one thing. But if it's still not working for you and you're still not feeling the benefit, and you're still not feeling like the obstacle has been overcome, then are you being petty if you decide that you need to cut energetical ties? And that's a really fancy word for blocking people on Instagram. And I have to tell you, when I finally did it this morning, it was like this weight was lifting off of me. This final release of something that I hadn't yet figured out how to let go of. So removing the obstacles on our path, there are as many ways to do this as there are ways of living and ways of practicing yoga. And so your job is to look within you and see what you need to keep moving through and moving forward. Like Ganesha, just stomping over the obstacles in your path. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. 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 Taking deep breaths in and out. awakening your body and moving in whatever way moves you. Then coming to join me up into seated. Our hands together at heart center. So nice to have such a big group of you all here today. I'm going to share with you one last saying or quote. I posted this on Instagram like 6 years ago, and I don't know where I got it from. I don't think I came up with it myself, but anyway. We're never rejected. We're just redirected to something bigger, something better, something magical. If you want to join me with an Om, we'll inhale, exhale, and then inhale through to make an Om. Okay, so taking a breath in, breath out, breath in. Thank you for sharing the space and the practice tonight. The light in me sees and honors the light that resides within each of you. Namaste.
The Mindful Life Practice Community.